Hello, and welcome to the 2013 Basketball Captains video. The purpose of this video is to get you prepared for basketball season. It will tell you the rules of basketball and some policies and procedures of the Mercer University intramural system. Some of the people that you might need to know who are in intramurals are Todd Thomas, the Assistant Director of Intramural Sports; Kevin Andres, the Director of Recreational Sports and Wellness for Mercer University; Rebecca Webb, the Student Director of Registration; and Rob Kelly, the Student Director of Officials. The purpose of this video is so that you can maintain your eligibility for all campus championship points, so you can learn the basics of basketball and to learn some of the policies and procedures of the intramural sports department, and most importantly, to share all of this information with your team so that they can be well informed as well. Policies and procedures. The intramural sports department is a student-led organization. It is important that working through intramurals and playing, you must learn to coexist with others, and that it is vital to your growth as a human being and as a Mercerian. Participants and spectators are expected to act in a respectful and courteous manner towards intramural staff members, other participants, and spectators. Intramural sports is intended to be a recreational experience, which means that it is fun and non-competitive. Participation. All faculty, staff, and students are eligible to participate. A Mercer University Bear Card or government-issued photo ID is mandatory. No other ID, like bank cards or anything of that nature, is allowed. You must register on imleagues.com with your Mercer email address in order to participate. Players may only play on one same-gender team and one co-rec team per sport. Players that are currently under suspension are not allowed to participate. A team that uses an ineligible participant will forfeit the contest in which that player was on the roster. Intercollegiate basketball players are ineligible until 365 days or one intramural basketball season, whichever is greater, after their affiliation with the team ends. If you have any questions, please contact Todd Thomas with questions on this policy. Varsity coaches will be handled on a case-by-case basis. Also, please contact Todd Thomas. Teams will formalize rosters on imleagues.com by 2 p.m. the day of their first game. They must have a Mercer University Bear Card or government-issued ID in order to play for the team. Once a player signs onto a team, he or she is locked onto that team, meaning they cannot leave the team and join another one. Rosters are frozen 2 p.m. the day after the last day of regular season play for the playoffs, and no one may be added at this time. In order for players to play, they must be on the team's roster by 2 p.m. the day of the game. If a player is not on the roster, they will not be eligible to play in the contest that night. There is no on-site sign-up. Please remember, Mercer University Intramurals is no longer using the one-time entry form. Thank you. It is important to be on time, and game time is forfeit time. Understand that regardless of what has happened in the past, this policy will be enforced consistently. Being a couple of minutes late is still late and will result in a forfeit. We recommend captains tell their teams to be on site 15 minutes prior to game time and be signing in. Forfeits will result in a loss, a forfeiture of ACC points, and a 2 for sportsmanship for that game. A team that forfeits twice will be dropped from the league completely. Defaults. If a team knows in advance that they will not be able to play in a scheduled contest, they may default in order to avoid a forfeit. To default, a team member must come into the intramural sports office and fill out a default form. If you absolutely cannot come by into the office, or if no one is in the office when you come by, please stop by Todd Thomas's office in the UC office suite or contact him at 478-301-2370. A team is not allowed to default more than 50% of their games. This form must be completed no later than 4 p.m. the day of the contest. 4 p.m. is also the time for Friday or Sunday contest. At the conclusion of each match, the supervisor and officials will assign a sportsmanship grade to each team. This is on a scale of 0 to 4 and only whole numbers. Captains must sign the score sheet after the grade and final score is placed. Please do not sign until after this information is present. Teams that do not achieve a 2.5 or better will not make the playoffs. Teams that fall below a 2.5 in the playoffs will be removed from the bracket. We're not going to take unsportsmanlike conduct. While disagreements may arise, participants and spectators must learn how to deal with these situations in an adult manner. We thank you for your cooperation, and please be respectful and courteous to others. Protest. If a team captain feels that the officials have erred in the application of a rule, they may protest the ruling. This must be done prior to the next live ball. The team will be charged a timeout, but will be given this timeout back if the supervisor upholds the protest. If a team still does not agree with the application, they may submit a written protest to the assistant director by 4 p.m. the following business day. Check the Facebook page or phone line extension number 2824 for information about inclement weather. Games are not rescheduled in the regular season if they are canceled. No overtime is played during the regular season either. No smoking, tobacco, or alcohol is allowed on the intramural premises. Moving into basketball rules. Basketball is played by teams of 5 players. A minimum of 4 players is required to avoid a forfeit. Teams must wear the same colored jersey. What are intramural players allowed to wear? No jewelry is allowed, and you must wear athletic shorts, no jorts or jeans, etc. Pockets are okay in basketball. Closed-toed athletic, non-marking shoes are required. A jersey with a number, preferably front and back, and if you wear a Mercer jersey, you must wear a shirt that entirely covers your armpit. No hard cast and no bill hats are allowed. The game will consist of 2 20-minute halves and a halftime period that will not exceed 5 minutes. The game clock runs continuously until the last minute of the first half and the last 2 minutes of the second half. The clock always stops for timeouts, and each team has 2 timeouts per half that do not carry over into the second half. Each player is allowed 5 personal fouls before they foul out. Players that foul out are not ejected from the contest. They simply have to sit out the rest of the game, and they receive no additional penalty after the contest. Any player that receives 2 technical fouls will be ejected, and that player is required to leave the courts after his or her ejection. After a team's 7th foul of the half, their opponents will shoot 1 and 1 on each non-team control foul. This means the player that was fouled gets 1 free throw, and if that shot is made, he or she will receive a second shot. After team's 10th foul of the half, their opponents will shoot the double bonus, or 2 free throws, on each non-team control foul. Any team with 3 unsportsmanlike technical fouls will forfeit their game. There is no limit to substitutions, but all subs must approach the table and kneel down until they are beckoned onto the court by an official. Free throws are always assessed in the order of occurrence. The defensive team must occupy the second lane spaces and may occupy the fourth lane spaces. The third lane spaces are reserved for the offensive team, and no one shall stand in the bottom lane spaces. Teams may not enter the lane during a free throw attempt until the ball hits either the rim or the backboard. Correct teams still consist of 5 players in any combination of 3 and 2. A team may never exceed the maximum for either gender, which is 3. 2 males and 2 females, 1 male and 3 females, and 3 males and 1 female are all acceptable combinations. All goals scored by a female are worth 1 extra point, and if a female is fouled during the act of shooting, she receives the same number of free throws as the value of her shot. All free throws are still worth only 1 point, whether shot by a female or a male. Thank you for watching the 2013 basketball captain video. Remember, Please share this information with your teammates. And remember that you also must take the quiz after you have watched this video and make a 100 on it. You can keep taking the test until you have made a 100, but until you have made a 100, you will not be able to play any games.